So, any one of you give a confirmation from your side. Are you able to see the screen? Yes. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, Chaitanya says yes. Okay. And also, you are able to listen my voice clearly and loudly. I think there should not be any problem for voice. Okay. The problem statement I will read out again. An exterior wall of a house consists of 10.16 centimeter layer of common brick having thermal conductivity 0 0.7 watt per meter Kelvin. It is followed by 3.8 centimeter layer of gypsum plaster with thermal conductivity 0.48 watt per meter Kelvin. What insulation thickness of loosely packed rock wool in bracket its thermal conductivity is given. It is 0.063 watt per meter Kelvin should be added to reduce the heat transfer through the wall by 80%. So, a wall construction is given, exterior wall construction of any house or room is given. It is having two layers. One is of common brick and the other one of gypsum plaster. These are all building materials, common building materials, and their conductivity values and their thicknesses are given. Now, the wall, existing wall, has to be covered with a layer of insulation. Has to be covered with a layer of insulation of this material, loosely packed rock wool, having very low conductivity. As you can see, K is very low, 0.063, and heat transfer rate has to be reduced. Heat transfer rate has to be reduced, or that heat loss has to be minimized. Uh, what we have to find is the in what insulation thickness of this material should be added to the existing wall so that heat transfer rate will be reduced by 80%. Heat transfer rate will reduce by the uh, amount of 80% of the for from the existing wall. Okay, so for this, what we have to do, we have to use the concept of thermal resistance, uh, equivalent thermal resistance. First, we have to take here two cases. The case one will be the existing wall without any insulation, and case two will be the wall with insulation. Okay, so existing wall there are only two layers, and when we provide insulation, it will have three layers. Okay, so two different cases we have to analyze, and then we can proceed for the solution. That is to find the proper thickness of insulation so that heat transfer can be reduced by 80%. Okay, so given data can be taken out from the uh, problem statement. The brick wall thickness is B1 equal to 10.16 centimeter. In meter, it is 0.1016 meter. Conductivity K1 is zero point 0.7 watt per meter Kelvin. Gypsum plaster thickness B2 0.038 meter. Conductivity K2 0.48 watt per meter Kelvin. Then rock wool insulation thickness thickness is B3, that is to be decided, not given. That is actually the question asked in the problem, that is to be decided, and its conductivity is given K3 0.063 watt per meter Kelvin. Now let us see the case 1, that is wall without any insulation. So it will have only the existing will have a wall will have only two layers. Let us use some notations. Let us denote the heat transfer rate without insulation, that is K for case 1, as Q1, that is Roman 1 Q1. Now see delta T, the temperature difference across the composite wall. We can draw a rough sketch like this. This is the existing wall, this is brick layer, and this is plaster layer having thickness B1, and this is having thickness B2. Temperatures, we can set up the temperature gradient like this. T1 Let us denote the temperatures at every phase. T1 is the wall temperature at this point. Then T2 is the interface temperature, that is in between this layer and this layer. And T3 is the temperature of this wall. Okay, this phase. Q1 is heat conduction flowing through this composite wall. So we can draw a thermal circuit, equivalent thermal circuit like this. This is conductive resistance of wall material 1, and this is conductive resistance of wall material 2. So it is resistances in series case. So R1 and R2 are shown in series connection, and delta T is the temperature difference across the complete wall, across the both resistances. And Q1, the heat conduction through the wall, that will be same for both R1 and R2 because it is a series connection. So heat transfer rate by electrical analogy we can write as Q1 equal to delta T upon summation R thermal. So delta T upon total or equivalent thermal resistance. Okay, the in series thermal resistance, equivalent thermal resistance is R1 plus R2. Now let us evaluate values of evaluate R1 and R2. R1 is conductive resistance for a plane wall, so it is given by B upon K. So B1 upon K1 into area A. Again, this is a wall case, so area of cross section will remain same for each for every layer. So B1 upon K1 into A. B1 is given 0.1016 meter. K1 is zero point 0.7. So both are put together. Area is not given. Let us keep this area as it is. Okay. Let us not put any value. Let's just treat it as an unknown variable. Okay. So this only evaluated this ratio. So we get 0.1451 divided by A. In the same way, R2 equal to B2 upon K2 into area. So B2 0.038 divided by K2 is 0.48 into area A. Evaluate this ratio, you get 0.079 divided by A. Okay. Since area is not known, we are keeping this in the ratio form. That is why we don't get any finite answer here. Okay. So we will take we'll continue with these answers or these values, and then we can finally we can evaluate for this. Okay, so that's not an issue. Then heat transfer rate Q1 is given by delta T upon summation R thermal, and summation R thermal is R1 plus R2, addition of these two. So we can write in denominator this addition of these two, area being the same on in the denominator, so it will be the same. So addition will take on the numerator side. Okay, so delta T upon 0.2242 upon area. Okay, so this is the combined resistance or equivalent thermal resistance of R1 and R2 without any insulation. So this is the heat transfer rate for wall without insulation. Now let us look at the wall with insulation. Okay, this is the original wall K1 and K2 together. Now third layer is applied. Third layer is of insulation material that is having conductivity K3 and thickness B3. Let us say Q2 be the new rate of heat transfer with insulation. Heat transfer rate is going to reduce because of provision of insulation, and let us say it is Q2. Let us say it is Q2. Then temperature difference delta T across the wall degrees Celsius. Now here third layer is added, so temperature T4 will be added to this. Okay, so T2 and T3 are the interface temperatures, and T4 is the outer or exterior wall surface temperature, and T1 is the inner wall surface temperature. Now these three resistances, thermal resistances, are in series R1, R2, and R3, uh, and they form a series circuit. Q2 is the heat flow that flows through all R1, R2, and R3, and that remains common. And delta T being the temperature difference, just like potential difference across R1, R2, and R3. Okay. Now here we will use the condition that uh, temp, because we are comparing two cases, and whenever we compare two cases, we should have some common parameter, we should have some common basis. So we will take temperature difference to be the common basis. So delta t, uh, let us say that condition is delta t remains constant in both cases, case 1 and case 2. So delta t in case 1 equal to delta t at case 2. So in case 1, temperature difference is only T1 minus T3. In case 2, temperature difference will be T1 minus T4. Both temperature differences will remain same. Now, one more thing is given, one information is given, that heat transfer rate after application of insulation will reduce by 80%. Will reduce by 80%. So we can easily evaluate or easily find the relation between heat transfer rate with insulation and without insulation. So heat transfer rate with insulation is 80. There will be 80% reduction in heat transfer rate without insulation. This is case one. This is case two. 80% reduction means it will be only, it will remain only 20% of initial heat transfer rate or previous heat transfer rate. So Q2 will be 20% of heat transfer rate without insulation. So Q2 is equal to zero point 0.2 into Q1. Again, Q2 will be given by this general form, general relation, delta T upon summation R thermal. Now, summation R thermal in this case will be addition of three resistances, R1, R2, and R3. R1, R2 we have already found out, so we can directly take their values, 0.1451 divided by area plus 0.0791 divided by area. Now, R3 will be B3 upon K3 into area. It is directly put here. B3 upon K3. B3 is not known, so B3 we will keep it, as it is. We will maintain it as it is. B3 divided by K3 is 0.063. So that value is put in into area. Area is again unknown. So the same area will appear for this also. Okay. So this term is maintained as it is because B3 is unknown and A is also unknown. So these things can be added together. R1 and R2 can be easily added. So we have first term as 0.2242 upon A plus this additional resistance, that is R3. Um, a reciprocal of this 0.1 upon 0.063 is 15.873. Okay, take the reciprocal of this, you get this value in numerator. So thermal resistance for second case is this much. Now heat transfer rate Q2 is equal to delta T upon summation R thermal. Now heat transfer Q2 in second case is 20% of first case. So zero point 0.2 into Q1 equal to delta T upon this value is now inserted. Summation R thermal. This entire expression is put in here. So now, in place of Q1, in place of heat transfer rate in case 1, we can replace its value. We can replace its value from its equation. Q1 was found to be. You have to just go back to the case 1. Q1 we had obtained this expression. Q1 equal to delta T upon 0.2242 upon area. Now this expression will be inserted so that we will have some common terms. Okay, so Q1 is expressed as delta T upon 0.2242 upon area. Now see, on both sides delta T is common, so delta T get cancelled out. Again this area term is common, 1 upon A, 1 upon A, so that also get cancelled out. So so area was unknown, so that got cancelled out. So what remained in the equation is only the unknown B3. Only unknown we are left with is B3, and that is the required parameter in this problem. So by cancelling out the common terms, we get this algebraic equation. By only we have to cross multiply and rearrange the terms. By rearranging, we get this algebraic equation, and then we have to solve for B3. Then we have to solve for B3. Just go on making addition and deletion, and take the division here. So B3 you will get 0.0565 meter. Okay, so thickness B3, thickness of insulation is obtained as 0.0565 meter. This is in meters. We can convert it into centimeters, like it will be multiply by 100, so 5.65 centimeter, or in millimeters multiply by 1000, you get 56.5 millimeters. Okay, because thicknesses are so small, it is not so it is not so not so easy to express it in meters. For small thicknesses, 5 centimeter we can easily realize, but we cannot realize it in meters. Okay, so generally small thicknesses are mentioned in centimeters, so that gives us some judgment. Okay, uh, so this is the solution. So we can write that to reduce the heat transfer by 80%, we have to add 5.665 centimeter of centimeter thickness of layer of insulation to the existing wall construction. So when we add uh, this thickness of insulation to the existing wall, heat transfer rate will reduce by 80%. Okay, so this is just another type where we have to go in some indirect method. We have to go in some with indirect methods of solving the problems. Okay, now mm, okay, now three different problems we saw, and all those three different problems were of the same type, that is conduction through the plane wall. Okay, conduction through composite but plane wall. Now, but we have seen in theory, we have seen there are three different cases: conduction through plane wall, conduction through hollow cylinder, and conduction through hollow sphere. Now we will see that uh, the now we'll see some upcoming the types of problems of uh, composite cylinder and composite sphere. Okay, uh, okay. The problem statement goes like this. Just a minute. I hope you are able to see the screen and also read it properly. Just a minute. Okay. The next problem is a steel tube with 80 outer diameter and 60 inner diameter, in bracket K, 15 watt per meter Kelvin, is covered with insulation of 20 thickness, in bracket K equal to zero point 0.2 watt per meter Kelvin. A hot gas at 300 degrees Celsius flows inside the tube, in bracket H. Small h means heat transfer coefficient is given for a gas. It is 400 watt per meter square Kelvin. Outside of insulation is exposed to air at 30 degrees Celsius, and its outside air heat transfer coefficient is given H equal to 50 watt per meter square Kelvin. Calculate heat transfer coefficient, that is overall heat transfer coefficient U, based on outside area and heat loss from the tube for 25-meter length. Okay, now situation is like this: a steel tube is given. Now you know that tube is a case of hollow cylinder. Tube or pipe, all these come from the cases of hollow cylinder. So steel tube has outer diameter of 80 Its dimensions are given. It has outer diameter 80 and inner diameter 60 Diameters are given. We can easily convert them into radius, because for calculation purpose we require radius. Radius is just half of diameter, so we can easily take them. So in outer and inner radius are given. Then the conductivity K for steel material of tube, that is steel, is given 15 watt per meter Kelvin, and it is said that it is covered with insulation of 20 thickness. So this there is a steel tube, and from outer on its outer surface, it is covered with insulation of 20 mm thickness. So its radial thickness is given, thickness of insulation, and conductivity value of insulation also given, 0.2 watt per meter Kelvin. And this through this steel tube, hollow steel tube, from the inside, a hot gas is flowing. A hot gas is flowing because the steel tube is carrying the hot gas flow, and gas is flowing, and its temperature is 300 degrees Celsius. The gas temperature is 300 degrees Celsius that flows inside the tube. As it is a gas, so there will be convection. So convection heat transfer coefficient is given H, 400 watt per meter square Kelvin. And on the outside of insulation, that is this pipe, the steel tube with insulation covering is now exposed to outside air. On the outside, it is exposed to ambient air, which is at 30 degrees Celsius. Again, on outside of the insulation, that is outside pipe, there will be convection. There will be convection heat transfer. So H is given, convection heat transfer coefficient for air, it is 50 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, so inside it is gas and outside it is air. Now for this given situation, we have to find the heat transfer rate, heat transfer coefficient. First we have to find heat transfer coefficient, overall heat transfer coefficient U, based on outside area, that is on air side, and heat loss from tube for 25-meter length. So length of the tube also specified, 25-meter length, and heat transfer rate we have to find out. So from given situation, we have to draw a diagram like this. Okay, any rough or any rough sketch is okay. So this is, now we are looking at the cross section of the steel tube. So this is the inner inner surface, and through this hot gas is flowing, and this is the outer surface of the tube. Okay, this hatched region. Okay, this inner tube is actually a steel tube, as indicated here. This is a steel tube. It has some thickness and it has some radius, and this steel tube is covered by insulation from the outside. This is the insulation provided so that heat transfer rate can be minimized or heat loss can be minimized. Why heat loss will happen? Because the tube is carrying the gas at very high temperature, 300 degrees Celsius, and the tube is exposed at the outside. It is exposed to ambient air, which is at 330 degrees Celsius. So 300 minus 30, about 270 degrees Celsius temperature gap is there, or temperature difference is there. So in along heat loss will occur, across the tube thickness, through the by conduction. Okay, by conduction, and that has to be minimized. That is why insulation is provided. Even though we provide insulation, some minimum heat will always be lost. Okay, some heat transfer is going to take place anyway. Okay, so let us assign the values. Let us put up the given values here. So inside it is gas, so Ti, in inner temperature of gas, is 300 degrees Celsius, and on outside it is air, so To equal to 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, now we have three radius here. One is the Ri, or let us say R1, that is innermost radius. Then R2 is the radius of outer radius of steel tube, and inner radius of insulation. This is common. Okay, because for insulation layer, inner radius is R2 and outer radius is R3, because both share the same interface. Okay, the steel tube, inner steel tube and outer insulation cover, both share the same radius on the at the interface, at the level of interface. Okay, so we have three radius: R1, R2 is intermediate radius, and R3 is the outermost radius for the insulation cover. Then the temperature gradient exists. So T1 is the temperature at the inner surface of the inner tube. So now see, carefully look at this. In inner temperature of the gas is different. Ti is different, and T1, that is temperature of the solid surface of inner tube, is different. Okay, there is some temperature gradient. So heat transfer will take place from higher temperature Ti to little lower temperature T1. Then T2 is the intermediate temperature as shown here. Then T3 is the external or outside surface temperature of the insulation. And finally TO is 30 degrees Celsius, that is the lowest temperature. So heat transfer how will occur? We are assuming it is a steady state. So first there will be convection from this gas to inner surface of the tube, inner surface of the steel tube. This is by convection from Ti to T1. Then from inner surface to outer surface of steel tube, it is by conduction through the steel. Then again from T2 to T3, that is from through the thickness of insulation. Again it is by conduction, because steel tube and insulation both are solid materials, and from a outer surface of the insulation to the surrounding air it is by convection. So first convection, then conduction, again conduction, and last convection. So all because of this we use the theory of composite structures, and we use the theory of overall heat transfer coefficient. So there is a combined convection and conduction mode of heat transfer. Since all these modes are in series, so convection, so there will be first convective resistance, then followed by a conductive resistance of steel tube, then another conductive resistance of insulation material, and last will be convective resistance of air. So all these four resistances are denoted like Ri in is inner convective resistance, Ro is outer convective resistance, R1 and R2 are conductive resistance for steel tube and insulation layer respectively. All are in series, so as shown here. And thermal circuit can be constructed like this: Ti being the innermost temperature or higher temperature, To being the lowermost temperature or outermost temperature. So, and temperature difference will be Ti minus Tu, or total temperature difference will be Ti minus Tu, and it will be associated with all the four resistances. That is, equivalent thermal resistance will be Ri plus R1 plus R2 plus Ro. All four resistances we have to consider. Now let us say small r. Small r is used for radius of the tube. So capital R symbol is for thermal resistance and small r is for radius. Okay, that difference you have to carefully note. So R1 equal to out inner diameter is 60 mm, so 60 by 2 is equal to 30 mm in meters, 0.03 meter. Same way R2 equal to 80 by 2, that is diameter is 80, so 80 by 2 it is 40 mm, 0.04 meter. Then R3, radius R3, so R3 can be found by adding the thickness T. The thickness T will be added to the radius R2. So R3 equal to R2 plus radial thickness T. R2 is 40 mm and thickness is 20 mm. It is also given in the problem. So it is 60 mm. It comes as 60 mm in meter, 0.06 meter. Now K1 steel thermal conductivity of steel tube is 15 watt per meter Kelvin given in the problem. For insulation, K2 is 0.2 watt per meter Kelvin. It is also given, and heat transfer coefficients on inside and outside like HI and HO are also given. HI is for gas, hot gas, 400 watt per meter square Kelvin, and HO on outside air, it is 50 watt per meter square Kelvin. So all this is a given data that we have just taken down. Now we know that heat transfer rate equal to delta T upon summation R thermal, which can be equated to UA into delta T, UA into delta T. So from this, U is the overall heat transfer coefficient for entire tube along with the cross section and convective components. So UA equal to 1 upon sum of sum, thermal resistances. Sum of thermal resistance is Ri plus R1 plus R2 plus Ro. And then we will now find the individual resistances. We will put the expressions for Ri, R1, R2 and Ro individually. Ri is 1 upon Ha. It is a convective resistance, so it is 1 upon Ha. Since it is on inside, it is 1 upon Hi into Ai. R1 is conductive resistance of a hollow cylinder. So standard formula we have already derived this in the theory. You should know and you should well remember it. So it is log of R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi K1L. Then conductive resistance R2 is log of R3 by R2 divided by 2 pi K2L. So while applying this formula, you have to be careful of this ratio of radius. This is outer radius upon inner radius. For steel tube, R2 is the outer radius and R1 is the inner radius. For insulation, outer radius is R3 and inner radius is R2. So what radius is outer radius for the steel tube? The same becomes inner radius for insulation because uh, it is it is starting right after the inner tube. Okay. So log of R3, this idea you can get it from the diagram. If you just go back to the diagram, here you can find it. Okay, first we applied conductive resistance for this tube, that is steel tube. For this, R1 is the inner radius and R2 is the outer radius. And when we apply the conductive resistance formula for insulation material, so this becomes the hollow cylinder. And for insulation, inner radius is R2 and outer radius is R3. So accordingly, we have to put in the right values. Then only we can get the correct answers. Okay. Accordingly, we have to change the formula. We have to change the terms in the formula and then apply it correctly. Okay. Divided by 2 pi K2L. K2, the conductivity of insulation. Length is L, that is tube length. And convective resistance is 1 upon HO into area, outside area AO. Now 1 upon HI into, we have to now find out the AI and AO because inside area will depend on inner radius and outside area will depend on outer radius. So inner surface area is for cylinder, it is 2 pi RIL. So inner surface area is 2 pi RI into L. This ratio we are maintaining the same, no change here. For this term, last term 1 upon HO into 2 pi R3L, because outside surface area is 2 pi RL and radius is now R3. Okay. So now we can put in all the values, that is 1 upon HI is 400, so 400 into 2 pi into radius Ri is 0.03 meter and length L is 25 meter, that is also given in the problem. Then log to the base E of 0.04 divided by 0.03, whole divided by 2 pi into 15, K1 is 15 and length L is 25. Then for third term, log of R3 by R2, that is 0.06 divided by 0.04, whole divided by 2 pi into K2 is 0.2 into length is 25 into 1 upon this HO is 50 into 2 pi into R3 0.06 into length is 25. So calculate these components individually and you will get, they will be usually very small because they are reciprocals. So first term is 5.305 into 10 raised to minus 4. Second term is 1.221 into 10 raised to minus 4. These are going to be very very small. If you don't use the multiplier, uh, if you don't use the multiplier, you will get like 0.0005305. So three zeros will be there before this. Okay, so it becomes very difficult to write so many zeros. Instead of that, you can use the multipliers like this. Third term is 129.063 10 to 10 raised to minus 4. Last term is 21.22 into 10 raised to minus 4. So 10 raised to minus 4 is the common multiplier we have taken for all terms. So we have to add only these terms. So summation R thermal obtained as 156.809 into 10 raised to minus 4 degrees Celsius per watt. This is the SI unit, degrees Celsius per watt or Kelvin per watt. Now U into area equal to 1 upon summation R thermal, 1 upon this value, summation R thermal. Now we are asked to find the U value, overall heat transfer coefficient, based on outside area, based on outside area. Okay. So if you put area equal to outside area, we get U as UO. So UO into AO equal to 1 upon summation R thermal. UO equal to 1 upon this area into summation R thermal. Area is taken to denominator on right hand side. Now 1 upon summation R thermal into area AO is 2 pi R3L. 2 pi R3L. We know all the values, so we can directly put them in and take the reciprocal. So we get UO equal to 6.766 watt per meter square degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is the first answer, that overall heat transfer coefficient uh, for the given pipe is for the given pipe or tube with insulation is 6.766 watt per meter square degrees Celsius. Now we can use this to find heat transfer rate, total heat transfer rate. So UA Q equal to UA into delta T, UA into delta T. So Q equal to delta T upon summation R thermal. We can use any of the formula. You can go with this formula, or you can also go with this formula. Anyway, you are going to get the same answer. So Ti minus To is 300 minus 30 divided by summation R thermal. We have already found out. We use that value, 156.809 into 10 raised to minus 4. So you are going to get Q equal to 17,218.4 watt. Okay, so this is quite a big value. We can convert it into kilowatt, and still we can write 17.2 kilowatt. But it is always good to follow SI units. In SI units, heat transfer rate will always have a unit of watt. Watt is the original or basic SI unit of heat transfer rate. If you kilowatt or megawatt, these are the other terms or higher versions. Those are not actually the SI units, so we have to be a little careful while dealing with this. Okay, so heat transfer rate should always be expressed in watt. So this is the heat loss. This is the heat loss occurring for a given case of a tube carrying the hot gas. Okay, so you see, even if you provide insulation, even if we have provided here insulations, so uh, still there is a heat loss of this figure or this value. Okay, okay. I think okay. So we covered two problems, and uh, recently we covered the case of composite hollow cylinder, that is composite hollow pipe. In the same fashion, we are going to have some more problems based on hollow sphere and of composite hollow sphere, composite hollow cylinder. Since we have already lost our so much of time today due to some power loss issue and technical issue, so with this we will stop our today's discussion and we will carry on from tomorrow onwards. Okay, so let me record your attendance, then you can depart. Problem solving exercise is very important, so please don't miss the lectures or don't skip the lectures, because if procedure is not clear, then it will be very difficult for you on your own to understand all those steps, and you might have to spend a lot of time in getting it correct. Okay, okay. With this we'll stop our today's session, and you may leave now. Thank you.